Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper. Welcome to Simply Stamping Sunday. I'm just trying to get on my iPad, make sure everything's working okay. There we go. Looks good. Well, hello. I hope everyone is doing well. Tonight, we are getting a lot of rain here in New Hampshire today, and overnight we might get several inches. Usually we talk about that when we're talking about snow, not rain. So it is quite the scene outside for this December weekend. Tonight we are working with Trucking Along. We're going to be working with this stamp set over this week and next week. Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve fall on Monday. So I definitely know I will not be live on Christmas Eve, and I'm pretty sure I won't be live on New Year's Eve. So you may only have 2 weeks of Trucking Along. And since I was sick last weekend, I still got a cold, we're going to do 2 cards tonight. So let's get started. I love this set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. It has a bunch, 26 different stamps in this. It is a 2-step stamping set, so you can color in your shapes with the stamps. You don't have to use any markers or colored pencils or anything like that. So that makes this a really nice set, and it does have a coordinating punch if you wanted to get that. We're not going to use the punch tonight because we're only going to be doing using this stamp set with ink and paper for Simply Stamping Sunday. We get back to the basics. And so because I was sick last week, we're going to make 2 cards this week. So the first card we're going to make, just like always when I'm doing Simply Stamping Sunday, we start with something that we're just going to stamp. So here is the first card that we're going to be making. Very, very simple card. We are going to add a different adhesive that we haven't used before, and that is dimensionals. So I'll show you those. But let's get started because this is a very quick and easy card to make. So I have a piece of thick, basic white cardstock that I'm going to fold in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to crease it. Let me just grab that. Give it a nice burnish. Okay, perfect. Okay, there we go. And we're going to be stamping on this little piece right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is use Memento black ink. And I am going to stamp where I'd like the truck to be. So I'm going to stamp a little bit of the image of the roadway. And I'm going to put this towards the top. There we go. So it just looks like it's a little roadway. And then I'm going to take the truck body, ink it up, and stamp that as well. And that's going to be stamped right above the road. There we go. This is the kind of truck my dad loved. He showed me so many of these in the past. So kind of cool. And then I'm going to take the greeting and we're going to stamp that right below. And I'm going to cover that up. We're done with the black ink. Next, I'm going to do the 2-step stamping, and I'm going to take the body of the truck, and I am going to stamp it in red. We're actually not done with the black. I need it for one more thing. And because it's a photopolymer stamp, I can watch as I'm stamping, and it makes it really easy to fill in the lines. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Love, love, love it. And this is going to be delivering some trees. So I am going to take my black ink pad again, and we're going to be stamping Farm Fresh on the door of the truck. See on this how the stamp, when we fill it in, has some different places of little white spots on it, so it gives it that contrast. So pretty cool. And then the next thing we're going to stamp, just grab this stamp, we're using quite a few stamps tonight, are the, oops, I got some ink where I don't want it to be. Let me just grab a paper towel. It shouldn't affect the stamping, but just in case, I don't want to take any extra chances. There we go with our tires. So now we've got the truck all stamped. And let's add a Christmas tree to the back of it. So, like I said, this is a two-step stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the solid part of the Christmas tree in Old Olive, and I'm going to just gently stamp off, and then I'm going to come over here and stamp it in the back of the truck. And then I'm going to take the detail stamp and stamp that in full strength. And there we have our tree, nicely stamped. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal, put some adhesive on this layer, and I'm going to layer this on the next sheet of white. And now is when I'm going to use my dimensionals. And dimensionals are just that. They're little pieces of adhesive foam that gives the card a little lift to it. So the object that you put this on, we're going to use it two different ways tonight. One way we're going to, with this card, and the next card we're going to be lifting the truck up. Just going to center that on the front, and there we have our first card. So our two Christmas cards. Okay, let's put that aside. And for the next card, we're going to be using some designer series paper, and we're going to be using Misty Moonlight. So this is the second card we're going to make. We're going to be using the One Horse Open Sleigh designer series paper. This is going to let the designer series paper shine on the front, and then on the inside we'll have our greeting, and we'll have another truck in there. So let's just get started with the stamping. For this one, I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler ink for the inside of our truck. I was having a hard time deciding between using the Real Red and the the Real Red and the Cherry Cobbler. They give two different appearances. So I'm going to stamp the road, the little dirt underneath the truck, on both the Designer Series paper. I stamped it right down at the bottom, and on the inside of the card as well, in case you didn't see that I had that kind of low. So now I'm going to take the outline of the truck and ink that up. So this one's going to go on the inside of the card, and then I need one on my scrap piece of paper. There we go. And using the blank ink, we're going to also add the greeting to the inside of the card. Wishing you a festive Christmas. Okay, we are all done with the memento. So now let's go with the inside of our truck. So we'll start here. There we go. It's a much darker red, but it does, as it dries, it lightens a little bit, but I really think it gives that old time red that Ford trucks used to have. Don't like that one. We're going to stamp that over again. I got too much ink on it again, so I'm just going to clean my stamp real quick. I looked at it and thought right away it just had too much ink on it. It's always a good thing that we have two sides of paper. Okay, that one's okay. We'll just keep that over there. And we'll ink up the truck again. There we go. And let's try that again. I don't know, I still don't like it. Okay, we're going to try it one more time. Has that ever happened to you, that just not happy with the way something you've stamped is coming out? Happens to me all the time. I'm going to wipe that ink off again. I've got a real juicy ink pad. Okay, third time's the charm. I'm happy with that. Good, good, good. Now let's do the tires, and we're going to cut this one out. Okay, happy with that too. All right. Let me just get a pair of scissors. And close the memento ink before I get black all over me. Okay, so for this card, we're just going to trim around the edge of the pickup truck. when I do cut out something, I try to keep a little bit of a white border around it as best I can. There we go. So let's put this card together. So this is going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to give it a nice fold. And then we will use our Stampin' Seal and put this on the, just center it. So there's the inside of the card. And now for the outside of the card. I'm going to take our Designer Series paper, let the Designer Series paper give us a beautiful background on the front of the card. And then I'm going to use those dimensionals again to pop up the truck. And I'm going to put it in front of the fence. And there we have our second card for tonight. Okay, so let's just review what we made tonight. We have made our Wishing You a Festive Christmas with the tree in the back of the truck. And we've made our beautiful wintry scene with the truck driving by. So that is it for tonight for Simply Stamping Sunday. I will probably do 2 cards again next week to make up for the end of the month when I won't be doing as much stamping. And I hope you have a great rest of the night. I'll be back sometime this week with a pop-on. I'd like to do an unboxing video with you for all the new mini catalog stuff I've taken in. And Friday night I'll be back for Fun Fold Friday, and of course next Sunday same time I will be back for Simply Stamping Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of the night. Thank you for joining me. Good night.